Wow, isn't that a fun card? Who doesn't love a shaker card? Want to learn how to make it? Well, that's what we're going to do right now. Hi, I'm Robbie Susan Chandler. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Quincy, Florida, right outside Tallahassee, Florida. And I hold classes in my home every 2 weeks, so if you live in the area, I'd love for you to join me. But today we're going to make this cute shaker card, and why is it when you pick up a shaker card, you immediately have to start shaking? Look at that, isn't that fun? There's just something addictive about a shaker card. And I like to send these to the families that have children, because you know those kids are going to pick these cards up and start shaking them like crazy. And see, here's the inside. The shaker is actually built into the front flap. And then you've got this beautiful church inside. Now the stamp set that I'm using, and I'll show you right now, is called Yuletide Village. And you could put a house in there if you didn't want the church. But I chose the church, and I'll show you in a minute how I colored it because I want you to see all that glimmer on it. So, let's get started. Let's find out how we make a shaker card the easy way. Okay, so let's start with our base. Our base is 8.5 by 5.5, and I use the thick basic white, and I think you've heard me say before I love the thick basic white for my card base because it holds up so much better. And then inside I had gone ahead and stamped and a Happy New Year, because on the front we put Merry Christmas, and inside and a Happy New Year. Now the Happy New Year is from the Horse and Sleigh stamp set that we had. I'm not sure, but it may still be there, but it's right here. So you could put any Happy New Year inside that you have. And I stamped that in Misty Moonlight, and I also stamped my sentiment on the front in Misty Moonlight. So this is our base, and it's the thick white, and the first layer is wild wheat, and this piece is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And on top of that I have this piece, and it's 4 by 5 1/4, and this is from the pack called Regal Distressed Paper. And the piece I used was this one, but also in this pack you get these two really lovely pieces. This is a cool pack of paper you need to check out. And I wanted just a little bit of border around the edge of this to pick up this gold. And I've noticed that the wild wheat works very nicely with pieces with gold. And see, if I put this on here, it kind of faded away. So that's why I went with this. So this is our front. And I've already adhered these two together. So your first step is to adhere those two together. And then you want to place it on the front of your card. Now you could use repositionable adhesive to hold it down, or you can just tape it together. But you want to hold this piece down, but you do not want to glue these two together yet, because this is going to be our sandwich to hold our shaker card. So you put these two together, and then you're going to cut it with the globe die from Snowy Wonder, and that's this one right here. Now also we're going to be using on the bottom, I'll go ahead and show you that one, with this is out of gold foil, and this is the base of our card, this one right here. Now this one I embossed. The one we're going to do today I'm not going to, because I ran into a little problem with embossing it. My gold started peeling off, so I decided we'll just use it plain instead of letting the gold peel off. So those two pieces are from Snowy Wonder. Alright, so we have this piece on, we're going to run it through and cut it, and then this is what we end up with. So we've got this piece cut out and this. Now what we're going to do next is flip it over and adhere a piece of window sheet. Now our window sheet is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and you're just going to glue that down. I just put a little bit of glue in each corner to hold it down, and you'll need 2 of these because you're going to be putting another one on top. So let's set this over, because I have one here that I have done. So the next step is to put the thick foam adhesive strips, and they come in strips like this, down around the edge. Now don't go out into your opening, you don't want it showing on the other side, but you do want to get it up close. The first time I did it, I put it in a square, and that didn't work because all my snowflakes went out on the corner, so don't do that. And these strips are to hold it up when you put it on your card front, because we don't want it flattening out. Let me fold this in half real quick. This thick cardstock. I like it, but sometimes it doesn't want to cooperate. But it does hold up nicely. So let's get our bone folder and just do a little. Okay. So let's see. All right, now we've got our front, our window sheet. What do we need now? We need some snowflakes. So these are called white loose snowflakes. Let's see if I can get the lid off without making it snow in my room. Ah, very good. So you just pick up a few and sprinkle them in the middle of your window sheet. Like that. Now you don't want too many, because if you get too many, then your church doesn't show because you have way too many snowflakes. And I think that's going to be plenty right there. Well, about 2 or 3 or 4 more. You know, you never know when to stop. All right, let's put the lid back on those so they don't end up everywhere. All right, now that we've got that on there, you want to peel off the backing on this. And be careful because you don't want to flip this over. And make sure when you put this strip down, you don't have any gaps or holes. Like this was almost too far apart, but I'm going to stick that together a little bit better. Okay, now we're going to stick the other window sheet down on top of that. This is going to seal them in and hem them up so they don't go places we don't want them going. There we go. And see, now we have our little shaker card. Wasn't that cool? And wasn't that easy and fun? All right. Now let's get this on our card front. Pull these off. And you need some up here just to, and try not to get them on the window sheet. You want to kind of stay away from the window sheet because it doesn't really stick well there, we found out. Let's see if I can get that one out. Really? Okay. It's always one that doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. Now let's put this on our card front. See if we can get it centered. Now you're going to put it right, put those down there, right over our opening. I'm going to try not to get my head in the camera. Last video I made, I noticed y'all got to see the top of my head. All right, let's just stick that down right there. There we go. All right, and let's get our little base for our snow globe. I love snow globes. I used to collect them. I think they are so beautiful. And then let's put our Merry Christmas. Now, Merry Christmas was stamped with Teeny Tiny Wishes, which is an old one, but you just need whatever sentiment you want to put down here. And these were 2 older punches. This was Modern Label and Word Window, but I just always go back to these sometimes because I really like them. And I could center this here, but I don't know, my instinct said let's just offset it just a little bit, just to keep things from being so perfectly lined up. Okay, there's card front. Now that looks pretty nice, but we need something inside. So let's work on that. Now I stamped my church in basic gray, just on a piece of basic white. And I think probably if you use the thick white, it might hold up a little bit better, like the steeple will keep from bending on that. So here's one I've stamped, and I've colored it, but I want to show you how and then you have to fussy cut it out, but I want to show you how I color this. This is kind of a new trick I've learned. So you take a block, and you put just a little touch of, in this case I'm going to put real red on one end, and on the other end going to put a touch of shaded spruce. Now this will save your ink pad with the system we're going to do, because I'm going to show you why. If you notice, my ink pad has a little shine to it. Well, I forgot to use the block in my classes, so instead of, we painted with Wink Stella, so instead of picking it up off a block, we picked it up off of the pad. So that's why I've got this shiny pad, but I think it's going to be fine. But when you do it, I would suggest that you put your ink on a block. So I'm going to pick up a tiny bit of red, make sure I'm in the camera, and you just pick it up with your Wink Stella, and I'm going to paint that tiny little bow there. And see, that's all you do. You just put a little red there. Now to clean this off, just get your scrap piece of paper and just do that, and that'll get the red off. Then you go to your next color, which is the green, I'm sorry, I picked up the wrong color again. You know what, let's put a little more red on that bow while we got it. There we go. Let's wipe this off again. All right, now I'm going to pick up the green. And I'm going to color my wreath. I'll just kind of dab it around. And then let's color the tree. Now the tree has a little bit of snow here and there, but you just want to kind of go around that snow, and you can come back later and put some Wink Stella on that snow. There we go. Can you see that? Look at the shine on that. Isn't that gorgeous? So I'm not going to sit here and color all of this in front of you, but I'm just showing you how. I'll go over the other colors real quick with you, but I have them on my instruction sheet. Let's look at this one. I used crumb cake to put a little wash on the walls. I used Daffodil Delight to make my windows look like they're lit up. Pecan pie I used for all my woodwork and my door. And then I went back to the basic gray for my steps. And I want you to just look at this one and see how shiny, and look at that. I just love it. And that way you don't have to buy a bunch of Wink Stellas to get different colors. You've got them all right there in front of you. So then I cut it out and left myself a little snow on the bottom. Now we have one more piece, and I cut this one out with one of the decal circle dies, and embossed it with Snowflake Sky. But before I did that, put a little shimmer on it too. And the way you do that is, I made this concoction that I saw another demonstrator make out of glycerin, and you can squeeze Wink Stella in there. If you have some of our old shimmer paint, you can do that. Now this has already got it on it. I don't know if you can pick out the shine on that, but you know, I'm going to put just a touch more on it just to show you, and I want to put it on a black piece. And the more shimmer you put in here, the shinier to be. And this does not take much. It just a little goes a long ways. All right, you see that shine? Now I'm going to do it on a piece of black just to show you the shine here. And you hear my clock playing? I have a clock that plays Christmas music this time of year, and it's just a singing back there. I forgot to turn it off. Okay, so here, can you see that? Look at that shine on that. And that's just using some glycerin and some Wink Stella or some shimmer paint in your glycerin. And here's this piece. All right, so we've got this all shimmered up. You know, I have one already done over here. And it doesn't take very long for that to dry. So I've already put these together. Let me show you before I do that. All right, once you get your church colored, I cut out, oh, I didn't show you what I cut the circle from. That circle came from this pack of paper. This is called Winter Meadow, and I use this piece. But there are some really pretty pieces in here too that you might want to check out. Look at that one. And there's one, this one's really pretty. It's got a border with deer along the edge. And then we've got some, there's the blue tones. And there's some in here that have some berries on it. See, here's some leaves. But this is a really, really pretty pack too. I think you would enjoy this pack. So that's where the circle came from, and it was cut with the deckled circle dies. So I cut this tree out of some white glimmer paper, and I use this die from Frosted Forest. I've been using this die a lot. I really like this die. So I've got my tree here, and I've got my church cut out, and I just slipped it right there. I wanted a tree to be in front a little bit, so I just kind of popped it up in there like that. And then put some dimensionals on the back, which we could do that. Well, I'm not good with that. But I put some dimensionals on the back, and then I just adhered it down to my circle. And here's one I've already done. See how pretty that is? Huh, I just love to look at that. Okay, so let's put that on our card. So we need a little glue on the back. And what I wanted to do when I put this in, so kind of wanted the bottom of that snowbank not showing. So let's see. There's the snowbank. Now let me get my head in the way. And let's just lay that right there. My church looks pretty straight. Let's shift it. Snowbank's not showing. Okay, see there? Look, isn't that cute? And there's our card. Don't you love it? I think it's so cool. Shake, shake. Like I said, it's addictive. You just want to shake them, and then you open up and you see that pretty church. And you can sign your name at the bottom. I hope you like this card and you'll try it. As you can see, it's not that hard to make a shaker card. Probably the hardest part is cutting the church out, because I'm not really good at fussy cutting, so that's not really my best talent. But anyway, here's my card. Please like my video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you need a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. So until next time, happy crafting.